distinguished guests, we are honored to welcome a voice from history, a man whose very name has become synonymous with the fight for liberty across two continents. Before you stands Gilbert du Montaigne, the Marquis de Lafayette, a French aristocrat who chose conscience over comfort, freedom over privilege. At merely 19 years old, he crossed an ocean to join a colonial rebellion, not for personal gain, but because he believed in the sacred right of people to govern themselves. This is a man who stared tyranny in the face from the battlefields of Brandywine and Valley Forge alongside General Washington to the halls of Versailles, where he helped draft the Declaration of the Rights of Man. He has walked with founding fathers of America, counseled with Jefferson in Paris, and worked alongside Hamilton to secure the financial foundations of a new republic. Lafayette has witnessed firsthand how ordinary people can topple kings, how ideas can triumph over armies, how the arc of history bends towards justice when brave souls are willing to bend it. He has seen tyranny in many forms, royal, military, and popular, and has never wavered in his opposition to it. Today, the Marquis speaks to us not as a relic of the past, but as an eternal guardian of liberty's flame. Listen well, for few have paid such a dear price for the freedoms we cherish.
Bonjour, mes amis. You can hear me? It is okay? Okay. Uh, I hope you all enjoyed the reenactment of my last visit here. If you came this morning, I now know what I will look like when I am older. So I am very happy to be back among les montagnes vertes, amidst les Vermontais and some fellow francophonie, a few of you maybe. Do you like the ensemble today? I found it in Emmanuel Macron's closet. Except the wig, that was mine. I thought it best to dress modern. It is an honor to always be so well received here in the United States. I am not only here to celebrate reunions. As a representative of the first friend of the United States, France, I am here on a diplomatic mission. If that does not qualify me enough to speak, know that in 2002, I was decreed by your Congress as an honorary US citizen. So perhaps I speak as an enraged one today. You are the greatest project in world history. Never before had democracy been employed at such a grand scale. As a Marquis, I grew up in a world containing strict societal divisions. King and subject, man and woman, rich and poor, all power held by the former. I always felt a perfect horse would be one unbridled and uninhibited by man's control. Imagine how enthralled I felt when the very strictures on government were thrown off by a new style on a new continent. A government by the people, for the people, of the people. Could it be possible? Would it succeed? Originally, I traveled to America to seek adventure and fight our British foes. I make a poor courtier, and my antics and weak dance skills saw me struggle among the aristocracy. I'm better now, I promise. America was a land of opportunity, even for wealthy Europeans like myself. It felt open, malleable, and full of promise. Does it feel the same today? Before I dive into the problem at hand, allow me to illustrate my fraternité with your country and establish some credibility. As mentioned by my wonderful presentateur, I first arrived in this country while still a teenager to fight in what I believe to be a very noble cause. I left behind an even younger wife and budding family. As we know, it ended very well for you. The reception and energy of your revolution carried back to France in ways both good and ill. I believed I could work with King Louis VI to establish a constitutional monarchy. This would have allowed the citoyens to take an active part in their government, create legislation, vote for their representatives, and still maintain the stability of a monarch at the helm. I underestimated both the revolutionary zeal of the populace as well as the suspicion and intransigence of the royals. King Louis XI's reign ended in a bloody mess, with myself in foreign prisons. I even lost my wife, Adrienne, to conditions sustained when she and my daughters chose to be imprisoned with me. France struggled for decades to right herself and achieve the democracy that you all achieved first. All along, I maintained the morals I learned from your forefathers and cherished myself. My beloved nation struggled through no less than 3 more kings and 2 emperors. I know well how to depose tyrants, no matter how flamboyant, powerful, or mouthy. I saw many despotic leaders come and go, all because of greed. Some may say we French are foolish and easy, but they would also say we are experienced and knowledgeable of the very type of leader that does not work for their people. American democracy is vital for this world. Yours is not the first, but ultimately the most important beacon for individual rights on our globe. American success in establishing a government of checks and balances, voting and debating legislation, opened the door for countless other societies to follow suit, and this includes my own country of France. We made our own way with our own typical emotional bloody theatrics. However, the ideas that took firm root here in this land were the same ones that spread in others. Liberté, the right for citizens to change their own lives and speak, act, and write without oppression. Égalité, that all citizens receive the same rights and opportunities regardless of background, social status, or origin, something the US has forgotten. Fraternité, unity, solidarity, and mutual support among citizens, which fosters community and collective responsibility. These are sacred pillars that still we must hold dear. We will not allow them to be extinguished. It would endanger us all. France has saved you multiple times before. We are your premier alliance, the reason you exist. The United States of America has saved us multiple times. You are the reason we still exist. I am proud to be here today and more than willing to speak up again to maintain your success. The adaptability of the US Constitution, the rights allocated to its citoyens, and the structural changes in its government over time are the most excellent features of its design. Your forefathers did not get everything right the first time. They foresaw the existence of challenges and potential roadblocks they would never understand. Your democracy has been a dynamic system, evolving over time to expand suffrage and address social inequalities. The ongoing struggle to reconcile democratic ideals with social realities, such as the legacy of slavery or the influence of money in politics, offers lessons for other nations. It takes time, debate, and trial to improve your government and in turn your lives. We have all watched and aided you along. This is the magic of your government. All of this praise shows why your allies and many of your fellow Americans are worried. There are those in your government, including President Donald Trump, who are looking to consolidate power, money, and influence. This is not a partisan issue. As George Washington feared, political parties have become your ruin. Members choose party power over what they stand for themselves. I will speak of ways in which your power is endangered, your personal sovereignty is at risk, and ways in which I believe you may yet save and strengthen it further. I will be using some language from the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, which I drafted with Thomas Jefferson, and whose truths still remain, as you say, evident. Complaints. 1. Condemnation, defunding, and attempted takeover of higher education. Trump wants obeisance and control above all. What better way to get the herd in line than by ensuring they know not what they line up for? The universities and colleges of your great country have been the envy of the world because they combine students from all over said territories and give them the tools and the opportunity to question everything they know. Almost all of your great leaders have been educated this way. Trump's attack on education is an effort to isolate the United States from international intelligence and hold back the populace from understanding their government. 2. Using National Guard and other military branches against citizens. This action needs little explanation. The use of military police force against the citizens they are sworn to protect and serve is a cardinal sin. I have much experience with this. Notice I said citizens, not illegal aliens. Make no mistake that the current administration will try to use them on you all. Even when governors like Newsom, for example, condemned this action in Los Angeles, Trump did not listen. The definition of a tyrant, tyrant, is a leader who is cruel and oppressive, one who acts alone. Can your other leaders save you? 12. Invocation of emergency powers during peacetime. Trump played this card only to assume control. As he defines the conditions of emergency, all limitations on the executive branch's authority are weakened. When these emergency acts are invoked, the Supreme Court's role of interpreting congressional statutes is severely diminished. The dangers of this unheeded power is well known, with the most alarming example being the deportation of Americans to prisons abroad. When even illegal immigrants are not allowed due process in court, it opens the door for no citizens to require it. What makes you think they will stop with one group? Anyone who disagrees with the regime or does not fit their vision will find themselves somewhere down the list. Do not allow them to act like Robespierre, hunting political enemies. Cut. Ignoring judicial orders to consolidate power. The Trump administration has been ignoring Supreme Court orders related to the deportations, something the executive branch is not allowed to do. A society in which the observance of the law is not assured, nor the separation of powers defined, has no constitution at all. 5. Shaping of a technocrat-obedient oligarchy. Look how many of your wealthiest, most powerful businessmen are now controlled by Trump. What you are seeing is a consolidation of power amongst those technocrats and anyone who pledges obedience. All that wealth and influence on one team should scare anyone closed out of the circle. You cannot let this oligarchy continue to sap power from the broader populace. None of his cabinet choices were qualified. They are merely obedient and thoughtless idiots, easy to control. Their ineptitude further weakens the government around Trump, aka the agencies they run, for example, helping power him even more. By replacing experienced, intelligent officials who know the roles of their respective agencies as well as the law, Trump is ensuring no one will undermine him or talk back. C'est tyranny, no? 6. Using the office for personal wealth. Speaking of wealth, Trump has greedily gained millions during his time in office. Jeff Bezos, c'est anglais, no? Jeff Bezos, offered to spend millions on a film about Melania Trump. Qatar gifted an outrageously expensive plane. Thousands of people line up to buy Trump's cryptocurrency, watches, sneakers, fragrance, Bibles, etc. All of this has earned him tens of millions of dollars. It turns out the presidential office can be lucrative, even for unsuccessful businessmen. All of them must be trying to curry his favor. Regardless of their motive, becoming president is the most successful business move he has ever undertaken. Bribery is illegal. From experience, it is never a good situation when your leaders are living lavishly and most of the populace is struggling. They will revolt, understandably so. 7. Disregard for constitution, rule of law, and procedure. Trump and his cronies have attempted to end birthright citizenship successfully, ignore habeas corpus, and due process of law. They are ignoring standard procedures in place to ensure citizens are not targeted by their government unjustly. He has impounded expenditures of funds appropriated by Congress, thereby weakening and marginalizing the legislative branch as well. And if the government does not bow to him, he will just authorize Doge to dismantle them. 8. Retribution against political enemies. In this regard, Trump has attempted to emulate Vladimir Putin, one of his heroes. They have targeted and abducted students, including in Vermont, who do not share MAGA ideology. Dissension is protective free speech and necessary when horrors are being committed. Trump has threatened local and state officials of sanctuary cities. He has also threatened to bring criminal charges against politicians who do not agree with him. All of these actions show a proclivity for authoritarianism. I am actually very glad that Donald Trump likes to compare himself to George Washington, as it makes it easier to slice open his facade with direct examples. General Washington was like a father to me. Mine died when I was very young, and he took me under his wing as soon as I arrived at camp. He was a very brave man who held us all to a high standard. He would most certainly not approve of Trump's conduct, attitude, and physical inability. Washington was willing to do the work himself at times, braving the elements and the enemy alongside his men. At other moments, he was willing to allow others to prove their worth. This includes a Frenchman of 19 years who wanted to join the noble cause. Above all, George Washington never let power get the best of him. He chose not to become a dictator and shied away from thrones numerous times. He worked without pay throughout the war, ignoring profit. He established term limits for presidents in order to peacefully transfer power to others, no matter if he agreed with their doctrine. Trump talks of a third term and listens to no one, only looking to gain power. Trump has forgotten that no king can decide what is best for his subjects. Democracy allows citizens to make changes to their government and their lives. I know Americans still hold this dear. Let us now discuss how you may ensure it remains. My speech to you today is given within the borders of Vermont on purpose. You are a steadfast people, fair, moderate, with a long memory and the ability to depend on yourselves. I have long known of your independent streak, born from your location in the cold Verdon Mountains of the north. The first time I came here, you were not part of the colonies. For 14 years, including while I fought through the revolution on this continent, this land was an independent nation. We stand today in the capital of that Vermont Republic, with its constitution located just down the road. Vermonters have never been afraid to stand up for each other for what is right. You outlawed slavery, instituted free public education, and expanded voting rights yourselves in 1777, long before even the famous American forefathers were willing to do so. I am not naive in believing you can go it alone now, nor do I believe you must. I would never argue for the dissolution of the United States that thousands of my brethren died to achieve. However, I do demand that you stand up for what is right, maintain your freedoms, and remember your power. Start building une défense vermontaise. Remember this, défense vermontaise. You like this. One advantage the Trump administration has given you is the preference for state rights. Use this advantage to construct and protect the laws and society you wish to have. We'll count again. Strengthen state agencies to replace federal ones. Most of them mirror those at the federal level already. Do. Ensure your military and police are neutral and defending your citizens. The Green Mountain Boys and Girls have a long history of doing so. They are required to follow the directions of their governmental leaders. At the same time, they are not allowed to be party-focused. 2. Do not recognize emergency powers and control from on high. You are not in an emergent situation unless you give too much control to the executive branch. 4. Ensure your courts defend the rule of law. Follow the Constitution and condemn illegal actions. Do not give tyrants any leverage or leeway. They will take it as far as they can. I have struggled with numerous leaders who have negated and changed constitutions and instilled absolute power for themselves. 5. Do not allow oligarchy in any way to influence legislation and government. Billionaires, political groups, technocrats, nobody. Says, bar religion from controlling society. You have freedom of and from religion. Liberty consists only in the freedom to do everything which injures no one else. Your goals may not hurt or interfere with the lives of others. An example, I will use the Christian right, because they often attempt to insert their beliefs in the lives of others at every turn. Do not allow any special interest groups to sway the government into benefiting their people over others. 7. Outlaw political persecution and revenge politics. The beauty of your democracy is that it forces tough deliberations and compromise. Everyone will lose and win on various issues. Do not allow anyone to be punished for their political, legislative, or judicial wins or losses. 8. Do not buy Trump's products and thereby keep his coffers full. Don't do it. 9. If funding dries up for education, research, healthcare, ensure it comes from private sources. In France, we have a term called noblesse oblige, which I find too dormant in many capitalist societies. As a Marquis, I had a responsibility to ensure the welfare of my citizens in my marsh were fed, happy, and leading productive lives. If they were not, or unhappy with me, it could lead to my removal or death. Wealthy citizens should not rule over society. Rather, their duty, the oblige of la noblesse, is to make certain their community is functioning well and working for those within it. Otherwise, they do not deserve their position in said community. These. Stay alert and knowledgeable of current events. Know your rights when they are infringed upon and be ready to defend them. Call out illegal actions and bad behavior. Hold yourselves and your leaders to a higher standard that you define. 11. Keep community and conversation at the center of your life. Know each other. Help each other succeed and build the world the way you want it. Many queer, indigenous, and enslaved people influenced and helped to achieve the independence of the United States. I knew many of them, fighting right alongside their fellow Americans. You are all needed. Rely on your neighbors and keep your community strong. Social distinctions in society never benefit said society. Nobody or individual may exercise authority which does not proceed directly from the nation. Do not ever forget that you, as citoyens, hold all of the power, whether it feels true or not. You may take power away from leaders at any time. I hope it will not be in the form of insurrection. The mania of such a movement is nothing you wish to live through. Even revolutions can spiral in ways that destroy nations. Instead, use diplomacy and community to ensure tyranny cannot exist in your lives and help you hold on to which morals you hold dear. As one of Andrew Jackson's supporters told me when I visited during the election of 1824, 4 years is soon past, and the consequences of a bad election are easily obviated. This hopeful quote only works if term limits are cemented and respected. I hope I have awoken you today, given you hope or direction. Allow me to speak for your forebears, some of whom we laid wreaths for this morning. We did not face the cold, the Titan, just to fail. We sacrificed so much to achieve the dream that is this United States of America. Do not be afraid to sacrifice the same to keep it. You may not sit by and allow your democracy to fail. You have been given rights which come with responsibilities. Educate yourself. Know what your despotic leaders want. Speak up, deny them, run against them. As the voice of your allies in this world, do not forsake our alliance. Do not forsake yourselves. Thank you for having me again. I wish you success, courage, strength, all you need to right your ship, victoire, of course. As we francophonie say, l'amour existe encore. Now prove it. Merci. Viva la USA, non?